I guess I've kind of touched most of the stuff when I was preaching earlier on. But if there's one important aspect that I missed, is the issue of representation. Courts can be very scary. I've mentioned earlier on that we are not using the Equality Court for some reasons, and it really pains me because it's there. There are people who are getting paid just for that space and we're not utilizing it. From where I am, I've established a foundation. Glenda is helping me out with that. And with that concept, the main aim behind my expertise as a professional is to try to reach out to the most vulnerable, those that cannot even afford to take a taxi to go to legal aid for any legal advice. So we've been traveling around. Last year we've been to 7 provinces already, whereby we teach young kids of their rights and responsibilities. Because it happens more often that we forget about preaching of responsibilities. Our kids, they only shout after the right to education, but it's your responsibility to respect your teacher. It's your responsibility to do your homework. It's your responsibility to go to school, as much as you've earned the right to education. So we've realized that there's a gap. And if we don't do something about it, we're going to end up raising a moral decayed generation. So we've been going out, giving out school shoes, sanitary towels. Not so long we're with Prof. Moholi. He's been giving out cameras, school bags, just giving out the support to show those young kids that we are here to support you. It happens more often that you get young children growing up just like how I grew up. When I was growing up in Venda, I didn't even know what is gay. I didn't even know, if there's anything called transgender. And there I was growing up, being forced to wear a dagara and hiding pens in my bag, wear them, fold them, do all sort of things just to make myself comfortable. Now, since we have been introduced to the better safe space through the Constitution that protects our rights, how do we then make sure that we protect the rights that that young child, that young boy who is identified as a boy and he's actually a different gender that one can, put hand on, how do we then make sure that we protect that species? How do we then make sure that the teachers understand how to deal with a child that does not want to be identified as a boy or a girl? We've had a case in school where the whole principal refused a learner to register for matric. It's a transgender woman. The principal announced in the whole assembly to say, you are lost, something is wrong with you, you cannot even write matric. And how do we then make sure that we take the information, we protect the rights of all those that cannot be able to stand up for themselves? And it so happened that in most cases it happens in the rural areas, where our rights will be confiscated and you get clustered such that you cannot even stand up and say, but I've got a right to education. How do you then deprive me of that right because of my sexuality? What does that have to do with me writing an exam? I I remember when I was in university, that was when I was starting to understand that, oh, there's lesbian, there's gay. You know, you're starting to get access to internet and you're reading a bit and, you know, you start to gain some confidence. You say, I'm fine. And you get bullied. You wake up, you know, somebody just did a picture, draw a funny picture of you in the whole varsity. How do you deal with that? Do we have enough structures to protect you and your being as a human being and your being as a person? You get bullied in places of worship. There was an incident where Somizi was in some church and things were said. How do we then make sure that things like that, we keep them? How do you make sure that if you go to church and a pastor calls you in church without your consent and tells you that I'm praying for you for that so that these demons can be out of you? Who the hell is he to tell you that I've got demons? Then he is the demon himself. How do you know demons if you're not one? So those are some of the things that we cloud ourselves such that we don't even know what is important to protect. We don't even know, as much as you will have your church and you have your own beliefs, but the system itself, it poisons us such that we don't even see what is important and how to protect it. So, in a nutshell, from the Nefuri attorneys, if you have any dispute that has to deal with legal issues, legal problems that you have, we are available to help you pro bono. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. Advocate, how do we maintain faith in processes and systems that bring about transformation and justice, but also prevent an infringement of human rights, for instance? I worked at our institutional equity office, called the Gender and Sexual Equity Office, for 8 months last year at the University of Free State. And I must say, it was an endless engagement with processes, ways for us to address various issues. And probably 95% of the time, there was no justice, there was no recourse, and there was an absolute inability for us to even prevent incidences. We are under-resourced, understaffed, we're stifled, there's victimization, and a whole wide array of factors that can explain why that office just won't be effective. And if you ask any of their students if they have faith in the process, I'm sure overwhelmingly they won't. So how do we, because earlier you were mentioning how people don't use the resources and processes that are available to them. How do we create that faith when we ourselves who work within the streams don't even have faith in the work that we're doing?
I have personally put it upon myself to be vigilant and to be very brutal. There's no way that you can try to advocate for something that you don't believe in. If I am lesbian, it's easy for me to advocate for my being. Hence, I try by all means possible to attend to all matters that need legal intervention, because I understand. I know how it feels like to be discriminated based on my identity. I know how it feels like to be a lesbian woman against homophobic professionals. Yet we do have the Constitution that protects us. We haven't been using the structures that we have, the capacity. How many of us understand that if my boss calls me a Mpho, you can get a recourse for that? How many of us understands that any degrading name calling because of my well-being, because of my sexuality, is tantamount to an offense? And it starts with us. There's no way that a Christian pastor, for argument's sake, can stand up and fight for a Muslim pastor. Because you feel that he doesn't belong with me. Therefore, he must go and rot. So it's very difficult. As much as legal practitioners will be interpreting the Constitution the best way we've been taught how. But if you're not directly involved, it becomes a problem. You fight a battle and you let it go. If we are to go to court and the first judgment is negative, if I am not directly involved and I don't understand how it feels like, for me, we've lost. You can still review, you can appeal, you can go as far as constitutional court. But do you think an ordinary attorney who doesn't even feel or understand how I feel as a person, to be called names, to be segregated, to be discriminated, will have that passion and zeal to fight forward? So it's up to us. I try by all means when I go to higher learning institutions, if there are gays, lesbian, LGBTI within the legal fraternity who are studying, I am willing to take them along so that we can groom an army that will be able to advocate and fight for us. We have so many young people who get discriminated at school. So many young people who get discriminated at work. You know, each and every space, everywhere, we get issues that has to deal with minority discriminated because of whatever reasons. And we don't use the resources that we have. And the other thing is because of lack of knowledge. You just feel like, you know what, it's fine, I'm not hurt, he didn't kill me, that word. But if you had a lifespan of 100, and somebody comes and rip your heart, your lifespan has been reduced. You might not know it then or pick it up. But the fact that you go home feeling small, feeling hurt, feeling like you don't wish to face this person again, your lifespan has been reduced. So it's up to us to make sure that instead of reducing our lifespans, we increase it. So awareness and trying to pick each other up. You know, if there's a young person who wants to be a lawyer, a gay, be lesbian, try to pick that person up. If there's a young person who wants to be an artist, want to into entertainment industry, let's pick each other up. And if we do that, in that way we'll be circulating, you know, the essence of love, the essence of unity, and with that we'll be able to succeed in this battle.